In our interview, I spoke with the Acting Chairman, Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Alhaji Shatima Abagana. He reveals the details of the salaries and allowances of federal lawmakers. He also talks about the alternative sources of funding for states and local government areas. Alhaji Shatima Abagana, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Well, let's begin now with the salaries, and allowances of federal legislators, which of course is generating a lot of controversy right now, online and otherwise. Give us details at the moment. At least let's hear from the horse's mouth. What exactly, or what are they being paid at the moment?
Well, the monthly pay of members of the legislature range from between about 700,000 per month to about 800, 900,000, depending on some of the allowances that they enjoy. The Senate President and Speaker, if they stay in public official residence, of course, the take-home pay would be far less because they will not be paid any rent allowance. But if the monetization has affected them, like most of the members of the National Assembly, their take-home pay would be around that 700, 800,000, which includes their rent allowance. Basically, that's it.
So annually, that comes to about how much?
Annually, they would probably come to, the entire package would probably come to about 10 million, thereabouts, for the whole year. When they end the 4 or 5 years, then they have a severance package, which is 200 to 300% of the annual salary, which probably would be about 4 or 5 million. They have to go back home to settle. They're given furniture allowance once in a term, which is again about 200% of annual salary, which again should be about 3-something million naira. That's only once paid, once a term. The rent is once a year, and that actually is sometimes paid monthly. But that one is 3.9 million thereabouts. Now, what mistakes are done by some commentators is to add the allowances that are paid once in 4 or 5 years and convert it as if it's paid annually. All right, and that creates some mistakes because some of those allowances are paid once in a term. The legislators have a term of 4 years, but some other public office officials have a term of 5 years, and the furniture. So
that's the one that comes to about 200 million, you said?
200 million. No,
how much did you mention?
No, I'd say it was about the severance would be about 5 million.
All right.
The furniture would be about 4 million, 3.94 million. And that furniture is given to you once in a term, only once for 4 years or 5 years. Because
I mean, analysts, analysis also, touts that they are being paid almost about 29 million. Anyways, some people the figure varies, and the bottom line is that they say it's the highest anywhere else.
It's a mistake. It's not. They're adding allowances that are given only once in 4 or 5 years, and calculated as if it's given every year, and then added up into a monthly salary or monthly allowance, which is definitely very, very, very wrong. Some of those allowances are once in 5 years, and that's for the furniture once in 5 years. Severance is in once in 5 years or 4 years, according to that's for the National Assembly. For commissioners and chairmen of constitutional commissions, this is once in 5 years.
So given I mean the much generated debate over this, are there plans to review this?
Well, review of salaries is not an easy task, primarily because you are paying somebody for doing a particular job. You've asked somebody to leave where he is to go somewhere else and work. And these are members of the legislature, members of judiciary, members of public offices. And they have to go and work. They have to be made comfortable to work. That's one. Two, we do a lot of work before we come out with remuneration packages. We research abroad we research in Nigeria and in Africa. And of course, when the social commentators jumble up the wage package and bring figures that are not correct, of course people will assume that Nigeria pays more than other countries, but that's not what we know. What we do, we go around the whole country, we go around the whole world, and we go around Africa, and we assess exactly what those countries pay, and we then analyze what we should pay. And by the way, when we do this remuneration package, we do a lot of analysis: cost of living, cost of for somebody of that stature to be able to live comfortably, rent a house, a flat, be able to have a
so it's not the highest.
No,
certainly
certainly
compared
not.
to their counterparts anywhere in the world.
Certainly not.
Okay, so
it may be higher than some countries, but I don't think it's the highest. Far from it.
Right. Let's talk about the revenue allocation formula. I know the Senate has been asking for a submission of proposal, right?
Yes, they have, and the revenue review of a revenue formula is something that's always an ongoing thing. The revenue formula, as is run, is not as an easy thing to review, because the revenue formula has to follow a certain process, and the process starts first. What did the Constitution say? The Constitution has given assignments and work to every tier of government. All right, the federal has its exclusive functions. The states and the federal and the local governments have functions that are concurrent. Now, what the Revenue Commission would always do, and all the previous commissions before even the Revenue Commission came on board, is to analyze what did the Constitution say each tier should do, analyze the content of that assignment, and then analyze the amount of resources required to implement those functions, and then share the pie so that each tier would have whatever is required for it to do its work.
Okay, let's quickly talk about, very precisely about the ongoing tax liabilities recovery, from ministries, departments, and agencies. Just bring us up to speed on that particular exercise.
Well, taxes are collected at all tiers of government. There are some taxes collected in the states that are supposed to come back to the federal, and some taxes the federal that are supposed to come into the federation account and then again given back to the states. So what we do is, and there's some federal government agencies that also collect taxes on behalf of the tax agencies. So what we do is go around and make sure that all the taxes are collected properly. We go to the states.
How many states so far?
We go to all the states.
All?
Yeah, all of the states.
Because we understand that just 30 states at the moment.
6 states probably up to date in their remittances. So the other states are the ones that we're talking with. Now what happens is, when we see these figures, we go back to them. Some say yes, they've accepted the liabilities and pay. Others have figures and come back and reconcile with us.
How much exactly has been recovered?
I think the last figures we had were about 150 something billion.
150?
156 billion or so. The figures are, so these are running figures. As we identify liabilities, they come back and reconcile, and we come down, and then we may find some other liabilities and add on. So
as we speak, how much?
I think as of right now, I'm talking about 156 billion naira.
Alhaji Shetima Abagana, thank you so much for your time and information on Dateline Abuja.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your mails as always. Keep sending in your views and comments using the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality. And don't you forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. And you can make a comment on any of the videos. Well, thank you for watching this week. I'm Gloria Umezuki. See you again.